Hey, gun people. This is probably one of the more important videos to pay attention to. Well, that sun's not too bright here behind me. First day in Texas in freaking months that we've had sunshine. No wind, no rain. I'm like out here dancing in the yard. It's a great day. They're saying a full week of no rain. We've had so much rain here, it's crazy. Anyway, two things that I really want to cover here. That one is really important about talking to the FBI or cooperating with federal officials. And last night I picked up some ammo, and somebody put this on sale on Facebook, and I just picked up a few boxes. And this is the same stuff we used to carry when I was working as a cop. This is what, as a range master, this is what I bought, this is what I ordered. So you notice right here, right in the blue letters, it says for law enforcement only. People think that because it says that regular people or non-law enforcement can't have it. And that's just something the manufacturer puts on there. That's not a big deal. Anybody can own this ammo, possess it, use it, have it. The manufacturer just puts for law enforcement only on there. There's not a law yet where they're trying to restrict ammo that only cops or only government can have it. They're working there, they're getting there. They're stealing the freedoms inch by inch every day to do that, but it's not there yet. So let's talk about talking to the FBI. Man, if you ever listen to any of my videos, this one you really need to pay attention to, because this will get you in prison or in fine for doing nothing but trying to be cooperative. If you noticed I made a couple notes on my phone. Title 18 of the U.S. Code for federal laws, and it's section, I think, 1001, is giving false information or knowingly giving false information to a federal agent when he talks to you. So, I mean, and by giving that information falsely and violating that section, there's all kind of ways you can do that. There's one legal opinion that if you fill out a timesheet and you know that somebody put 10 minutes more than they worked, or they didn't work, and they added 10 minutes to their timesheet, and all you do is mail it in to the IRS, you've just committed Title 18, Section 1001. Because you provided false information. You knowingly provided false information to a federal agent. Now, of course, you know, are they going to charge you with that? They can. And that's the problem I have with laws. When people are always like, oh, you know, no big deal. If you ain't got nothing to hide, so what if they're listening to your phone? So what if they're coming? So what if they want to pat you down or search you? So what? Look, people, our Constitution was set up to protect the people from the government, not for the government to abuse the people by. It's not for the government to give to us. It's what the people decided on, that, hey, government, you're going to work under these parameters and under these restrictions because we don't want you growing out of control. We know that power corrupts absolutely. We know what happens when you get too much power. So the Constitution was there to restrict and withhold that power. And I mean, I've seen it in all walks of life. Power just does different things to different people, but it's normally always destructive. So when I talk about power and where I've seen it, you know, in the Air Force, fighter pilots, man, they just think they are the shit. They have egos, they're arrogant, they're out there flying planes, they've got all this $1 million aircraft, they got all these $1 million weapons, they could take out complete cities. There's a lot of power with being a fighter pilot. Well, man, that power goes into ego and other things in their life. Prosecutors, DAs, city attorneys, there's a lot of power. They can put you in jail, they can take away your freedom. That power becomes corrupted over time if it's not held in check by people who understand that power is bad. I always say the worst people to give power to are the people that want it. Okay? As a cop, from the time I was being a cop, I was like, man, cops got a lot of authority. That's a lot of power. I always questioned that power and always kind of had this, you know, we got a lot of power. It's easy to abuse. And there's always good excuses for the common good, for the better good. Well, I'm going after it, and I've done it. I mean, I'm going after a bad guy, and I got to get him off the street. So if I bend the rules a little bit, if I kind of step across the line a little bit, it's for the greater good. I'm trying to get this bad guy off the street who's killing people. He's wanted for murder. He's wanted for aggravated assault. He's a bad dude. He's going to kill and hurt more people. So I justified bending the rules or going over. And all cops do it. All DAs do it. All prosecutors do it. Defense attorneys do it when they're trying to get their client off. People are like, they're dirty. They'll lie. They bend the rules and they do what they can in order to get their client off. So anytime you give someone power, it's very easy for that power to go to their head when they think they're doing the greater good. I don't know why these chickens got to come over here when I start talking, but they always got to come here and start quacking. And I get people complaining in the background. What's that noise in the background? It's these chickens being a pain in the butt. You got 10 acres to haul your ass around and go eat. You come right here. You're in big trouble. No eggs. So, to the FBI topic about power. First of all, if the federal government is using that Section 1001, giving false information, it's kind of a last-ditch effort. I mean, it's kind of a, hey, you ain't got much of a case. If you're going because I lied to you, you ain't got much of a case. The problem is, it doesn't matter if it's much of a case. Lying one time, giving false information one time, accidentally, on purpose, unintentionally misquoting or misstating that false information can get you 5 years in prison and I think it's $250,000 fine for each case. That's a lot of money and that's a lot of time in jail. So when people go, oh man, you're a cop, you shouldn't be telling people not to talk to the cop and not to cooperate. Bullshit. I'm telling you, nothing good comes. I mean, even working with the DA's office, I watched victims they're supposedly victims and they're witnesses, and then all of a sudden they get tired of the system, they get tired of going to court 30 times, they get tired of surrounding their life 2 and 3 years on this court trial that's nothing but a joke and lawyers paying and maybe he's going to get off and who's got the money, that they just go, I don't want to do it anymore, and all of a sudden the government comes down on them. You will come, you're a material witness. If you don't, I'll arrest your ass and put you in jail. And the prosecutor, they can do that. You're a material witness. They can say you're a flight risk. I mean, Waco's got 170 people locked up on $1 million bail. That's so unconstitutional. I can't believe people have a right to bail. They're innocent until proven guilty. All these bikers being locked up in Waco are being treated like they're guilty. They haven't had a trial. They haven't had anything. The cops, the Waco PD gets on the newsstand and says, oh, they were dangerous and we got a bunch of weapons. I mean, they charge them with having locks for their motorcycle as weapons, so in order to enhance, to make everybody think the bikers were so dangerous and they were scary and we were protecting you and support your government because we're here to help. Come on, people, don't be a sheep. That Waco thing is a big scam. The government's always controlling. Right now they're going after the former Speaker of the House. If you read the news, I think his name, can't remember his name, Dennis, Dirk, something. Let's see what his name is. Dennis Hastert, or I kind of just jotted down Hastert, but I don't think that's spelt right. But he used to be the former Speaker of the House. They got him right now for lying to the FBI, and he's facing a lot of time because he lied about something that's stupid. Okay? First of all, he's a politician. He's a crook. He's a Republican. Everybody's like, you only pick on liberals and Democrats. Republicans ain't no better. No shit, they ain't. They're all crooked. So this guy's a Republican, and when he was a high school teacher, nobody wants to say it. The news media's all tap dancing around it. They're all insinuating because nobody wants to get sued, I guess, or whatever. Basically, if you could read between the lines, he had sex or inappropriate contact with students when he was a teacher. And one of the students tried to blackmail his ass. Either he molested him or had sex with him or did something inappropriate, and he ended up paying this guy either 1.7 or 3.5 million. I'm seeing two different things. So he's paid this guy a lot of money. Hey, get out of here. I'm tired of that. Go on. So, he's about to peck on the camera, so I'm tired of them. So, I mean, this guy has paid all this money, this guy, and they're like, well, that's not guilty just because he's paying a guy. Look, if you're paying a guy $3 million, I'm pretty sure you're guilty, okay? Because you just don't give out $3 million on a lie or a BS thing. But anyway, so they start an investigation on him for structuring, because the government's in your bank account now and you can't even take money out, and they want to do away with cash so they can track every penny that everybody spends and where your money's at, and they can seize your money and they can stop your bank account so you can't get your money. And if you have money in the cash, government loses power and control. They don't want that. So they're trying to do away with currency as it is. So what they've done over time is if you take out withdrawals of $10,000 or more, the bank has to report to the federal government, this guy took out 10 grand. When you take out that 10 grand, a report's filed. When I was moving accounts, I was closing one account and moving to another account, the bank was like, well, you know, if you take 10,000, I got to do a report. I go, really? She goes, yeah, if it's under 10, you don't have to. And I go, okay, give me 9. Well, technically that's structuring because you're avoiding the investigation. Now, I didn't realize that I was violating the law. The bank teller just goes, I got to do a report. If you take out under 10, you don't have to report. And I go, okay, I'm taking out whatever, I'll take out under 10. Because I was just changing my account. But the government has to know about that. Why are you taking out the money? What are you spending it on? Why are you taking it out? So this senator was taking out 20, 30, 50 grand at a time, paying off this guy who, I'm sure he's innocent. He's just paying this guy off because he's a good guy, you know, because he wants to run for office or whatever. So he's paying this guy off, and guess what? The FBI comes up and goes, why are you taking out all this money? And he goes, oh, it's my money. And they go, we realize that, but we want to know why you're taking it out. And he goes, what difference does it make? It's my money. I'm taking it out so I can keep it in my house because I don't trust banks. Guess what? When they found out he was paying off a dude, he lied. So now they're going after him and he's facing all this time in prison. I'm not protecting him. He's a piece of crap. He's probably done worse than that when he was Speaker of the House and in politics. So I think we need to send more politicians to jail, but that's another topic. So because he lied, because he talked, because he thought he had a right to do what he wanted to do with his money and he shouldn't have to explain it to the government, he's facing prison. Don't talk to the FBI. Don't talk to any federal agency. Don't even talk to local cops. I mean, cops are going to be like, man, why are you telling people I talk to us? Look, there's good guys, but when you tell me something as a cop and I document or I record that or you're on a microphone, when that goes to the DA, now it's in the government system, I may be a good guy and I may not want to screw you, but the DA's not going to see it that way. The DA is going to be, you know what? I want this person brought in. He knows more than he should know. I want him brought in. I want him pressured. Find a reason to arrest him. You know, he violated this charge, didn't he? Didn't he do this? And you're like, well, yeah, technically he did, but I mean, that's kind of a poo-but charge. Charge him. Bring him in. Tell him he doesn't want to go. Exactly what they're doing in Waco. All the bikers said, we ain't talking. They said, we're making you $1 million bail. You ain't getting out of jail until you talk. The DA is publicly on a newscast saying, if you want your bail lowered, come talk to me. Give me some information. We'll talk about lowering your bail. I mean, that's extortion. It's flat out extortion. And he's doing it on TV and nobody, you know, the sheep are like, oh, he's such a good DA. Waco PD did such a good job. They shot 8 people in cold blood, but they did such a good job because they're keeping us safe. God, what a mess. Don't talk to the cops of the FBI unless you realize you are opening yourself up. If you lie to a cop, you don't get charged. You don't go to state prison. It's not a federal crime, but they're still obstructing or delaying an investigation. If you lie to me during my investigation and cause me to waste time or chase false leads, I can come back and charge you with delaying or obstruction. It's only a misdemeanor in most states, so it's not a felony, but the federal crimes, the Section 1001 of Title 18 U.S. Code, that becomes a felony. You're going to state prison for 5 years for each lie. So here's a scenario. FBI shows up to your door. Hey, knock, 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 FBI, we'd like to talk to you. All you do is open the door and you're screwed. Because you should have opened the door. You should have left the door shut and said, I don't want to talk to you. I'll talk to my lawyer, leave your card, I'll have my lawyer call. Okay? If you just say I take the fifth, federal courts are different than state courts. Sometimes they can use things like in state courts, if we get evidence inappropriately and we violate the law, the state courts will suppress that. It's called the exclusionary rule. They exclude that evidence. So if I coerce a confession out of you, and it comes out later and it's on tape to where I was threatening you or I was hitting you with a phone book or I made you give this confession, the state's going to go, you can't use that confession in the prosecution. And you can't use anything that confession cost you. So I beat a confession out of you and you go, okay, man, I did it. The body's over here and the knife I used to cut her up is over here. And the cops are out there and they find the body and they find a thing. They go, man, we got a great case. State court, they'll go, nope, confession's out because you coerced it. And everything, fruits of the poisonous tree, everything that confession led you to is out also. Because without that coerced confession, you wouldn't have the other stuff. So you lose the evidence, you lose the knife, you lose the body. I'm thinking that sun kind of just popped up on me here. Let me try to turn this just a little bit to get out of the sun here. So you lose all that. So, I mean, why do you want to talk to the cops? I'm just telling you, all that can be done is used against you. The government is the enemy against the people right now. I mean, it sucks. I don't like it. It's not the America I grew up in, and I don't promote it, but it is what it is. Don't talk to the FBI. When you open your door, you know, cops, we have ways of kind of getting you to say things or continue the conversation or how you doing or that's a nice house and man, that's a nice paint job. What year is that car, man? That's a nice car. Man, do you mind if I take a look at that? Now I get you outside. Now if I smell alcohol because you're outside your house, I can arrest you for being out in public under the influence, even though I just smell alcohol. So there's tricks that cops use if they want to take you to jail or if they want to put pressure on you or if they say, hey, you know, if I take you to jail, I'm going to have to call CPS for your kids. That's used a lot on moms. Now, you're not supposed to use it. You're not supposed to do that. But sometimes in the middle of an investigation, cops will do it and say, look, you're obstructing my investigation. I'm going to take your ass to jail. And if I do, you're going to lose your kids to CPS and they're going into foster care. So you better start cooperating. Now, that's a coerced statement. But if it's not against their penal interest, if it's not against them and you're not focusing on them, most times it's not fought. It's not suppressed because it's not protected under self-incrimination. She's incriminating someone else or he's incriminating someone else. So understanding when you talk to the cops, you set yourself up to making a mistake, misstating a fact, intentional or unintentional. You give the government ammunition to charge you and to say you did it knowingly and willfully. And now you got to prove you didn't, even if you're right. So you get to sit in jail, you get to lose your job, you get to pay fines, you get to hire an attorney, and then the government goes, well, okay, maybe you're right, we'll drop the charges. Well, you're still screwed. I mean, that's pretty devastating to a lot of people. Don't talk to the FBI. I'm going to put a link in this video to where a lawyer talks about don't talk to the cops. And he gives certain scenarios, and I've talked about this before, on why you shouldn't talk to cops. And this lawyer does a great job at explaining different situations where people went to jail for being helpful, for trying to do the right thing, for trying to be a good citizen. The time to be a good citizen is gone because we don't have a good government. I mean, you can't keep playing the victim of the government by trying to cooperate and help the government. I mean, the government's always like, screw you, you don't need to know, it's an ongoing investigation, we ain't telling you nothing. But as soon as they can solve a case, we need your help, public, we need you to give us a call, here's the tip line. They're all your buddy when they need something from you. But otherwise, you're just a piece of crap, paying your taxes, otherwise the government's coming to get you. So, I mean, it may sound like I'm total anti-government and I'm this right-wing conspiracy, whatever. I'm just telling you the facts. If you talk to the FBI and you misstate a fact, you give false information unintentionally, you say you went to the coffee shop and you were drinking coffee at 9 and they go pull the tape and it was actually 9:15, you just lied to the FBI and you just got charged with Section 1001. Okay, I mean, it's just not worth it. So how do you protect yourself? You say, I want to cooperate, give me your card, I'll have my attorney call you. That's it. You don't get in it because when cops, again, I told you cops have trips. When you open that door, a lot of cops will put their foot in the door. They'll get closer to talk to you. They'll invade your space, you'll back up, they'll move in. Next thing you know, they're standing in your doorway. Once they breach that doorway, now you have to get them out of your house. And now once they breach that doorway, if I see something in there that looks like a weapon or drugs, now I have the right to go in and secure that. I have the right to secure you for my safety. It's BS, but it's the law and it's used that way. So then I can go, oh, I'm in fear of my safety. I saw a weapon. I had to go in to get in between the suspect and the weapon while I was interviewing him because I didn't want him to go for a weapon. He wasn't a suspect. He was a witness. You contacted him. You knocked on his door. Doesn't matter. It's your problem. You got to solve it now. You got to hire the attorney. You got to fight it. The fight's on you, and you got the full force of the government. And I'm telling you, when you fight the government, they pull out all the stops because they don't have to abide by the rules. They get to make the rules as they go. They get to violate the rules because they know there's no, DAs, they're not worried. They got immunity. Judges got immunities. Prosecutors got immunity. They don't care if they bend the rules, violate the law, or for the greater good to teach you bad citizen a lesson that you should cooperate with the FBI. Otherwise, we're going to put your butt in jail. Bad move to talk to the FBI. There was another case that I meant to bring up. Damn it, what was his name? Clinton. Cisneros, back when Clinton, one of his cabinet members got caught up in this, like 4-year investigation. Cost the government $9 million over 4 years to investigate his ass for lying about some payoff to a mistress or concealing an information about a mistress. And I don't remember if it was for him or he was covering for Clinton. But he lied to the FBI, so after $9 million of government taxpayer money spended and 4 years of an investigation, guess what he got? Because he was in the know and he knew people. He got a whole $10,000 fine. He had to pay $25 in court costs, and he got no probation and was allowed to run for office in the future because they made it a misdemeanor, and that was his plea deal. Now, how much do you think it cost him to get that plea deal? How many favors did he have to do? How much money did he have to spend, donate? How many lawyers did he pay to get that sweetheart deal? But you, me, and the other smucks out there that ain't got that kind of cash and connections, if you talk to the FBI and you lie in some way, your ass is going to jail. And I'm going to say, I told you so. You shouldn't talk to him. All right. Hope that helps. We'll end that there.